Hey everybody, this is Jeff Jansen. So, today is the 29th of August. I want to show you guys something. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the thunder's coming in. Now, why does that have anything to do with today and what we're going to talk about today? Because a lot of people don't hear the thunder. They don't hear the rain coming in people's lives. They don't see that some people are struggling to get by, yet they want to argue, they want to debate. They don't see the people that have needs. They don't see there's people out there that are trying their best to reach out and pull themselves out of where they're at. So many times in life, we sit there and we ignore the obvious. And when we ignore the obvious, we do not see our friends that are needing help. We don't see our friends that are struggling. We don't see the people that are contemplating suicide or contemplating what is going on in reality and in life. And every day we get on there, the best reason why we need to get up in the morning is not only tell ourselves that we matter, but to let other people know they matter too. I mean, yeah, sure, a storm comes and goes. Like today it's getting ready to storm. The clouds are moving in. The rain's going to come in. And a lot of people are going to look at it. And in their lives, they look at that as in the ultimate. That's what their whole life is like. And people can't see it because we cannot get in their heads, or they reach out to us and we don't want to know. We don't care. But what they forget is, even when the storm comes, it's going to rain, it's good for the gardens, good for the grass and everything else, that the storm will subside. And that's why we need to be there as a pillar. We need to be there as a lighthouse to people. We need to make sure that people know they matter. So when we're a lighthouse to people in the storms, today it's going to storm. It is, May knock down some trees, may knock down my garden again, it may knock down other people's stuff. But people have storms in their lives every day that we don't see. And what we need to do is we need to take hold of those storms. We can't judge somebody based on one interaction with them. We cannot judge people based on, their opinion of politics or religion or something else. Because we all have those storms. And from the looks of it, today's going to be a pretty bad storm in a little bit. But you know what's nice after the storm? Is when everything's wet, the sun comes out, it'll shine on it, and everything will be okay. But during that storm is when we got to be the carefulest. We have to be the most concerned with our friends and our family and those that we do and some people we do not know. Because sometimes the storm can cause a lot of damage. And sometimes the storms can take away what we love the most. But people have those storms every day in their life. And so when we go out there and we do our best for people, we go out there and we actually try to, that's why I tell everybody, make a difference in one person's life. Don't try to make a difference in everybody's life. Try to make a difference in one person's life. Try to make a difference in your life. Let yourself know you matter every day that you do it. Now, why do I do these things? I'm not perfect. I've probably had more storms in my life than most people will ever know about. But you want to know something? That person next to you, they deserve more. You know why? Because we cannot put ourselves in their shoes. We don't know what they went through. We don't know what they've gone through. We don't know what they were going through when they maybe upset us. I do see bullies in the world, but I see some of the greatest bullies also turn into some of the greatest friends. Sometimes you can save a few of them. Kind of like my tomato plants. You would think that since this fell on the ground, it would be bad, right? It's not. Still good, still has seeds in it, still can grow, still can prosper, and it can still produce. That's kind of how we look at it. And everybody knows that I do gardens and I love my garden and everything else. And I had the garden from my daughter, but I've learned a lot from my garden. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, Jeff's talking again. But you're right, I am. You want to know something? I don't hear you talking. I don't hear anybody else trying to reach out to those that are hurting. We're dealing with a couple situations right now that we're trying to help some families, but because they have so many interior problems, they just would rather watch each other suffer, die, and burn, and they want their kids to suffer and their families to suffer because they would rather argue with each other. Why? We've got to be a beacon for people. We can't throw our politics at people. We can't throw our religions at people. We cannot sit there and force anything upon anybody. Because when you force somebody to do something, it's like a child that you force them to eat their broccoli, okay? Or you force them to eat Brussels sprouts. I think Brussels sprouts is a better example. When you force them to eat their Brussels sprouts, they're not going to eat it. In fact, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. But one day, if you don't force them to do it, but you keep telling them that it's good for them, they eat a little by little, you find the good ones. When they get older, they'll probably be eating their Brussels sprouts. I like Brussels sprouts nowadays. I used to hate it. But my mom didn't force me to eat my Brussels sprouts. And like I said, today's a good day. The rain's going to come. The storms are going to come. You're going to matter. But you got to reach out to those friends and family. You can't get mad at people over petty little things, you know? Everybody's trying to earn a living. Everybody's trying to earn a dollar. We get that. You know, kids are going to have bullies in school. You got to teach them how to stick up for themselves. We cannot put out every battle. We cannot put out every fire. You can't stop the storm from coming. Yeah, I know, WWF. I'm sure my cousin Keith on there somewhere like, you can't stop the storm. You know, you can't stop the storm from coming. But you can tell people how to get inside. You can't stop a storm, but afterwards, you can come over and give them a towel. Life's not perfect. It's not supposed to be. If it was perfect, then we'd never have challenges in life. And I say that because I have all kinds of military brothers and sisters that are suffering bad. I myself, every once in a while, suffer. You know? But it's how we take those aggressions. It's how we take those fears. And we go out and we build something better. I know a lot of great, rich people that through their pain, they created some of the best masterpieces. Rockefeller, if you want to know, had a lot of demons inside his mind. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke or anything like that. But when he founded his oil and everything else, you know, he kept pushing himself, but he never thought he was doing enough. You would think some of the wealthiest people, we look at them and we look down on them because, oh my God, they got everything in the world. But sometimes we forget. Those people are also the ones with the biggest heartaches. They're the ones with the biggest fears. The only difference between them and you, the only difference between success and failure is those that are willing to do what it takes after the failure. The difference between success and failure is this: who's getting up and who's not. If you go out and you're on a race and you come in second and you start downing yourself and everything else, well, guess what? You push harder to get in first. You don't just quit. If you come in dead last, guess what? You have a lot of improvement to do. And next time you may come in second to last. Then you may come in third to last. Then all of a sudden you may come in second to the front. And eventually you may win. You may not. It doesn't matter. Because it's about the race. We had a discussion yesterday with our group. We did an opportunity thing yesterday, and those that came out, thank you very much. And we went over the difference in how to make a difference. We went over, you know, an opportunity to save people's lives and how to get people more involved and how to, you know, build character and stuff like that. And, you know, we had people from every walks of life coming about religion, maybe coming about business or politics or something like that. But you know what it boiled down to? It boils down to who's willing to do the work. Who's willing to step first onto the new playing field? Who's willing to basically go into the jungle that's unknown? You know, if you force somebody to do something, of course they're not going to like it. Of course they're not going to do it. But if you yourself don't want to do it, but you force yourself to do it, you may discover that it's something that needs to be done. We can belittle successful people all day long. We can belittle those that have failed all day long. We can be bullies to people, or we can be the ones that are bullied. It gets us nowhere, though. What we need to do is be part of a community. I know a lot of you have been seeing me say community lately, and all this stuff does connect. When you take a person in your community, I don't even know, you pat them on the back, you help them up, and you tell them, you're doing great, keep going, don't stop, keep going, don't stop. You want to know something? They don't know you. But now all of a sudden, because somebody new in their life told them that they can matter, told them that they count, well, all those voices they forgot about that became flies on the wall, now they start hearing them again. And they start moving forward in a better way of living, in a better way of life. My military brethren and sisters and my friends from my hometown and everything else that have had depression and have had problems, the only thing I can really tell them to do is don't give up. There are lighthouses out there in the storm. There are beacons of hope. And I'll leave everybody with this. When I was in one of the businesses I was doing, they had a video, which now they play on TV, which is actually pretty neat. There was a little boy who nobody told him he could or could not do anything, right? And all of a sudden, mom and dad, we're talking about years ago, for some reason, I guess he went to the bathroom and he got lost. Well, anyway, he saw a piano. And I love this because you can look at this any way you want to. And I don't know how true it is, but I love it anyway, just the same, because it makes a lot of sense. So here you got this little boy, and he's trying to find his mom and dad, and he walks out and he sees this piano. So he just goes over and sits on the piano and starts, playing at the keys. And mom and dad are looking for the little boy. They don't know where he's at. And all of a sudden, a curtain rises. Here's the little boy at the piano. Doesn't really know how to play. And here he is. They're supposed to be listening to this great pianist. My grandma played the piano and organ. So I think maybe that's why it resonated with me. But instead of the pianist getting mad and saying, get off the stage, and instead of belittling the little boy or trying to get security or something else, like all of us would do, instead of doing that, it doesn't matter how many people were in the audience. He went up to the little boy, stood behind him, said, keep going. Don't quit. Don't stop. And the little boy started playing chopsticks. And the pianist started playing along with the chopsticks to make a masterpiece. To make something that sounded incredible from something a little boy did. Now ask yourself, do you think that little boy went on to do a lot of great work because he wasn't belittled? He was basically praised for taking a chance, I mean, he didn't know what he was doing. Most kids don't, But we're so busy, judging kids these days like adults that we're giving them depression even easier. But I keep thinking of that song. And I keep thinking of that commercial, which is on TV now. The something I listened to almost 25 years ago from a tape about the little boy who played the piano. And then I think about my Marine Corps brothers and sisters, and I think about my military brothers and sisters, and I think about the men and women I know that are all around me, that they would rather be negative on somebody instead of saying, okay, you got this, let me join you and see what we can do together. Instead, they would rather belittle. We need to start learning to be that composer that stops belittling people, that stops attacking everybody for everything. I want to be the honest one. Oh, I want to show everybody. I need credit for this. No. You know what you want? You know what's going to make you happy? When you work together with somebody on something and ask nothing in return. How many times did you play catch with your dad or your mom out in the yard? Did anybody else see you do it? Nope. But it meant the world, right? How many times did you watch a good movie with a friend and nobody even was around to watch you? Did you have to have credit for that? Nope. How many times did you call a friend out of the blue just to give them a hard time, knowing that their voice would make you smile, and when they heard you, you smiled? How many times did you apologize to somebody and they looked at you not even knowing why you're apologizing? And the reason why that's important is because of a lot of us, we forget that we hold on to things for so long that when we apologize, we don't even realize it didn't matter at the time. But we hold on to it. Others who are looking for an apology don't know that the people that they're looking for an apology from don't know that they hurt them. Like I said, the storm's going to come. The storm's going to come whether you like it or not. The rain's going to come. Lightning and thunder and hurricanes and typhoons, and it's all going to come. But those are quick moments in time when the sunlight's going to shine brighter afterwards. Every day, be a better person. Every day, quit looking at people's negativity. Quit looking at all of the things that are depressing you and looking how bad life is, and look at the positives. Look at the tomato that fell off the thing that no one wants anymore, and realize that the storm may have knocked these off. They're not rotten. They're not bad. They still taste just as good as everything else. And they're no different. Now, if I were to let it just sit there and lie down, just like we do with so many people, after the storm and all these tomatoes come off, we just let them lie, you know what's going to happen? They are going to shrivel. They're going to die. They're going to rot. They're going to fester. Because nobody's picking them up. Nobody's wanting to do what nobody else wants to do. And that is take care of their own. We need to start taking care of each other. We need to start doing better for each other. We need to start asking forgiveness from other people, ask forgiveness for ourselves, and forgiving those that have trespassed against us. We need, even if they don't want to be forgiven or they don't care, do it anyway. I've asked forgiveness many, many times from my enemies, or who I think maybe years ago I considered my enemies. You know, and I'll leave everybody with this. The greatest battles in history, the generals, their worst enemy are also their best friend. They know each other so well. But after the great battles and everything else, and with all the people dead and all the people, you know, when they meet each other for the very first time, it's like they were family. Doesn't matter how many people died. Didn't matter what the reasoning behind it was. That's not the point. The point is they spent so much time figuring out who each other were that their worst enemies were also their best friends because they know each other. We need to start looking at each other and figuring each other out. Start talking to each other because we need to let each other know we matter. Each one of you matters. Each one of you makes a difference. And when we do little things in life for people, it doesn't matter what it's about. Just do it. Ask nothing in return. You will be great. And right now, you are great no matter what you do. Storm's coming. I guess it's about how you're going to handle it when it's gone. The storm's going to come whether you like it or not. In each one of our lives, the storm's coming. And guess what? Storms don't just come once or twice. They come every year. They come multiple times. Some people can't get rid of their storms. But when it's over, what are you going to do? How are you preparing for that storm? Are you sitting there pushing everybody out? You sitting there getting all depressed and trying to find a rock somewhere? Are you looking at it as in, okay, I'm ready for this. I know that I cannot predict the storm. I know I cannot predict the damage it's going to do. But I know that if I'm okay, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to help everybody first before I help myself. That's what you got to do. My name is Jeffrey Jansen. I hope each and every one of you understands that you matter, that you're important. And if I ever get through to somebody, remember this. It's not just me that's telling you matter. You need to go out and make other people matter. You need to let other people know they make a difference because you make a difference. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to everybody soon. God bless. Talk to you soon. Bye now.